Yes, this is your video on homework 3. I've made you a nice little PowerPoint. So first, homework 3 is going to be in the second unit, so you will look for it there. Homework 3, Methods of Organization. Make claims and arguments about how 3 body paragraphs are organized using science articles given in Module 2. February 12th through March 9th. Prepare. You need to study Chapter 4 in your textbook. While this assignment was inspired by homework question number 5 in your textbook on page 109, this assignment is different. Study the science articles in this unit. Look for body paragraphs in those articles that you can identify as top-down, and try to find one that you can identify as not top-down. Also, look there for body paragraphs that you can identify as having one of these commonly recognized patterns: sequence, classification, division, comparison, contrast, general to specific, cause and effect, problem, solution. And due by Tuesday evening. You will want to copy and paste and then number these body paragraphs, which is to say you have 3 science articles in this unit. You're going to read those and you're going to select a body paragraph from each one of those. You're going to try to find one in there that's not top-down and 2 that are, hopefully. If you don't find any that are not top-down, you can still do the assignment. Or if you find 2 that are not top-down and 1 that is, that's fine, but you're going to label them. Okay, so you're going to copy and paste them, maybe into Word or a similar program to begin with, and then you're going to number them 1, 2, 3, and then each one, right after the number, you're going to give the author's name of the article and the article title. And then right after that, you're going to identify the paragraph as top-down or not top-down, and then the third element in your label is going to be what you have identified as the dominant pattern. You're going to label it as predominantly sequence, or classification, or division, or comparison contrast, and that's a fun one because usually a body paragraph doesn't do both comparison and contrast, so usually it either compares or it contrasts. Maybe the dominant shape of the paragraph really is simply general to specific. Maybe it is cause and effect, or effect and cause, or possibly the paragraph is talking about problem solution, and it may be predominantly problem or predominantly solution, either way. Okay, now, after you have labeled each of your 3, you're going to drop a line after its label, and you're going to have the body paragraph is already cut and pasted in. You're going to italicize the body paragraphs. This is going to be a bit of a challenge because you're using a text box. I think that Blackboard is going to allow you to italicize the body paragraphs, but once you place your homework into Blackboard, you might want to double check. If it's lost this formatting, you might need to do it inside of the text box, but you will be allowed to do it. Blackboard allows you to drop lines, and it allows you to select text and click the little button for italics. Okay, now below all 3 paragraphs, you're going to have the label and then the paragraph. Then you're going to write 3 argument paragraphs of your own, and you're going to shape them top-down. This is what you do. Each of those body paragraphs, it defends one of your labels, okay? So each one is going to begin with a topic sentence that uses your labels, or the label for said body paragraph. You're going to follow that topic sentence with your reasons for your label. You're going to support your claim with something from the paragraph, maybe a quotation, a paraphrase, or a summary in support. Now, you're not going to eat up your whole paragraph with this material, just a little bit that helps to prove your claim, your label. And in your writing, you're going to be unbiased, you're going to be unemotional, you're going to be calm, and you're going to be reasonable. The best arguments do not fly into a fury, because that doesn't sound believable to most readers. Okay, and then when you've finished, you're going to revise and proofread those paragraphs. Probably you're going to end up between 250 and 500 words all told, and that probably depends on your background, your experience, your vocabulary, and all of that, but everybody should be able to do this in under 500 words, and you're probably going to need more than 250. Okay, so what is due by Thursday evening? You're going to read and respond to your team members. You will select 1 or 2 points from each team member's paragraphs that interest or impress you. You're going to reflect about these points. You're going to suggest a way to strengthen the point. Now, you don't have to do all of these, right? But the basis of selection is interest or impress. You can reflect about these points and or suggest a way to strengthen the point, and or maybe you have evidence that your team member could have used a different label. That's another way of sort of reflecting about the points and making a suggestion, and you want to give your evidence for that. You do not discuss your own homework in your response. That's not a way to respond to a person's work. You discuss theirs. You're going to be professional and supportive in your responses, and, try to have some fun sharing with each other. And here we have an example of labeling. I've selected a paragraph from Matthew Crawford's Shop Classes Soulcraft, which we read in the last unit. I've identified this paragraph as top-down, and I've identified it as comparison and contrast, but mostly contrast. And here's the paragraph. The satisfactions of manifesting oneself concretely in the world through manual competence have been known to make a man quiet and easy. They seem to relieve him of the felt need to offer chattering interpretations of himself to vindicate his worth. He can simply point. The building stands. The car now runs. The lights are on. Boasting is what a boy does, who has no real effect in the world. But craftsmanship must reckon with the infallible judgment of reality, where one's failures or shortcomings cannot be interpreted away. All right, and here's an example of my argumentative top-down paragraph. And here I go, starting with my claim. Matthew Crawford's article, Shop Classes Soulcraft, has top-down organization and is dominated by the commonly recognized pattern, comparison, contrast, but is mostly contrast. The topic sentence is the most general statement in the body paragraph, and it comes first, which is what makes this a top-down paragraph. In his first sentence, Crawford makes his broad claim that manual competence leads to personal satisfaction and makes a man quiet and easy. The sentences that follow this one are examples of his point and thus more specific. Finally, the commonly recognized pattern is mostly contrast. Crawford contrasts the quiet and easy man with the man who boasts, as a boy does, which is his contrasting example of a man who is not easy with himself, but is instead anxious. Okay, so now we've given you what the homework is. It's chapter 4. We've given you how the assignment was inspired by your textbook, but is going in a somewhat different direction. You've got the ways that you should prepare. You have what is due by Tuesday evening. You have what is due by Thursday evening. And you have a sample of the label with the paragraph and a sample paragraph in response. Okay, so that should do it. And thanks very much